Hey guys, it's Anastasia and Christina. We're here today doing our live event with you. A little bit of education today. Um, the biggest thing when you are shopping for a diamond or when you're looking at diamonds, people are always talking about the four C's. The four C's of diamond grading. The four C's are cut, color, clarity, and carat. So today I just figured we'd go through what GIA states as the four C's according to their grading system. GIA, for anybody who doesn't know, if you're not sure, GIA is the Gemological Institute of America, and they're the ones who really set the standard for diamond grading nationally and internationally. They have several labs throughout the world. So whenever you buy a diamond or you're looking at diamonds and you have that yellow and white GIA report, that's kind of the closest mark to what the diamond actually is. That's the closest grading to what it actually is. One thing that we do want to say at the beginning of this is when you're purchasing a diamond, when you're shopping, whether you're shopping with us or elsewhere, if you end up purchasing elsewhere, we just want to be able to be available to help you learn about diamonds and really find the one that looks the best to you. That, if your thing is size, we want to make sure you get the biggest diamond for your budget. If you really want the brightest, crispest, whitest, cleanest diamond, we want to make sure you get exactly that. And we're more than happy, and we love walking through the steps with you of how to find that exact diamond. So, here we go. We have with us today this GIA chart, table marker thing, and this is going to help us just go through really what the four C's are with little pictures and descriptions. We have these here in our store, so when you come in, either one of us is more than happy to walk through this with you. All right, so the first one we're going to do is color. Today we're not going to talk about fancy colors. Those are graded a little differently, but you do have fancy yellows, fancy pinks, orange, green, blue. Diamonds do naturally come in those colors. They also come from a lab in those colors. So we'll do a different video on colored diamonds, fancy colors they're called, later on. So today we're just going to go over the regular D to Z color scale. So we have a color scale. These are GIA's different scales. So the one that we're going to be working on first is this one right here, the D to Z color scale. I feel like a teacher. So colors, when you think the beginning, the highest, the best, you think A, right? When you're in school and you're writing a paper, you get an A+, that is the best you can get. Well, with diamonds, when you have the best color, absolutely colorless, it actually starts at D. So way, way before GIA created the current grading system, you would have people from different parts of the world grading diamonds based on color, but an A in one part of the world may have been a C or a D in another part of the world and still an F in yet another part of the world. So that was a big reason that GIA came up with a lot of this grading. Starting it right at Z, it's absolutely colorless. You can't see a hint of anything. So when you're looking at a report, the highest number up there is going to be, or highest letter up there is going to be D. One thing that GIA does is they have segments in their grading. And so if I bring this closer, you can see, so right up here, you're going to have D through F is colorless, G through J is nearly colorless, and then the further down you go, it starts to get a little more yellow, a little more saturated and tinted. And then like here, for larger comparison, this is the D, and this is compared to, say, an N. You can see a big difference in the coloring there. So this is kind of each, section of what these color grading blocks are.
Nice.
I had a customer a couple weeks ago. We had a customer, and she wanted an oval diamond. the one thing that was the most important to her was color, having no color at all whatsoever. And we ended up being able to find her a D color oval,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gorgeous. It's going to sit in a white gold setting, and especially being against the white gold where there's no color in the diamond, it's going to just be sparkle and fire and scintillation and brightness.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be gorgeous.
And when we get our loose stones, we'll be able to do another video with our larger loose stones so that you can see for yourselves.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The lower the color grade is, the more color you can see. But again, if you have on a report a diamond that's a D, an E, or an F, those are all considered colorless. A lot of times, too, if you have an F and a G, you won't be able to see the difference up close, even though G is technically in the near colorless scale. G is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous color grade. You know, sometimes if you have a G and an F and they're the same size and the same clarity, just by getting the G, you won't be able to see a difference, but you'll save a lot of a difference. You'll notice it when it comes time to pay the bill. So it's that's the gist on color. Again, the lower you get, you kind of start to get a little closer to fancy yellow. But that's a totally different video for a totally other time, and we'll be able to go through that with you as well. So the next topic on the scale, the grading, is clarity. Side note, if anybody has any questions or anything during this, you can totally write in the comments.
I'm watching
whatever your question is. Christina is fielding those with us, as well as Maria on the back end.
Hey, Maria.
So feel free to say hi. We'd love to know that you're watching. Like I said, if you have any questions, write in the comments, and I can answer it for you live here. So the next grade that we have is clarity. So sometimes when you look at a diamond and you see a lot of, or none, some white spots, some black spots, maybe a little line here or there, with a loop, when you're looking with a loop, if you see those are what the clarity is. So the way, this is our loop, by the way.
Our loop.
When GIA does all their gradings, they're grading using one of those with a 10 times loop. So they're not using this big 50 times microscope to do these grades that you get these reports with. But they're also not using their naked eye either. 3 different people grade it all separately so that you get the best possible outcome when you're getting your diamond graded. So with the scale, it starts the same way, very, typical, same way exactly as the color scale, the highest at the top. And at the top, you have flawless, and then internally flawless. And those are really rare kind of grades, because you can have a VVS1 and have it look the same, even with a 10 times loop if you're not trained, and it will look the same as an internally flawless. So you get the VVS1 and 2, VS1 and 2, SIs, and then you get down to the I's in here. So the VVS is very, very slightly included. So it's very, very slight that you're going to see any kind of inclusion, any kind of mark on the inside, anything, even with a loop. And then VS is very slightly, it might be a tiny bit more visible, but still it's hard to detect it. And then you get into the SIs. You can have some SIs slightly included where there will be a white stone, like a white line through it. It's called a feather. Sometimes it can be at the very edge, which if you have a feather in a stone that's graded in SI and you have a feather on the edge of the stone, you can have it set, and a lot of times the prong might cover it. And these are all things that when you're purchasing, we'll walk through with you, so as to make sure we disclose every characteristic of the diamond. But for you, when you're wearing it, there are tricks you can have in the way you have it set, so you even won't see it that way. So you can still go a little lower on the clarity scale and still have that big pop of brightness and shine, without seeing anything on the inside of the diamond. The way that inclusions happen
Hi, Alexa.
Hi, Alexa. When the diamond is forming over hundreds of thousands of millions of years, deep in the ground, it's true, the high pressure and the high temperature that's going on over a long time, like I said, millions of years, all of that takes the coal, carbon, black chunks of rock, and it compresses it with temperature and pressure and time. And you get, through that process, you get a bright white diamond. So when you look in a diamond, and sometimes you do see these inclusions, like a little piece of black or a little white line, those are just leftovers from the process that it takes to grow a diamond. When you have lab-grown diamonds, it's the same process. It's just sped up a lot. And that's why, no diamond is exactly the same because of those inclusions. So each diamond that you get is completely and 110% unique to you, which is something kind of cool. No matter what inclusions are in it, no matter what color it is, you'll never ever find the exact same diamond anywhere.
That gave me chills.
So again, when they're grading clarity, they're done with a 10 times loop. Some look better than others to the naked eye, by the way. So you can have, for example, a G color SI2 that's $4,000 online. Say online. We prefer that you don't purchase your diamonds online. But if you must, be aware. Be very aware. No, you must not. You must come to us. So if you're looking online, doing some research, research is good. If you're looking online, you see a G color SI2 for $4,000. And you also see another one, G color SI2 clarity, for $4,900. Well, what's the difference? Why is one, when they're both owned by the same group, why is one $4,900 and why is one $4,000? Well, because it looks better. The $4,900 one looks prettier. It looks better. It's brighter. The inclusions aren't as visible. So even though when you see on a report, you see these grades, this is why it's so important to not go just by the report or, just by what you're seeing online in pictures. You want to make sure you have the diamonds in front of you and that you've done enough research that you know what we're comparing so that you can see something that's maybe, in that eye range but has a white inclusion that won't be nearly as visible as if you have an SI2 that has a black spot. So that's another way. It's going to save you money. You can, sacrifice that grading a little bit and go for a better color or go for a bigger diamond.
Yeah, and save some money in your pocket. Yeah.
We're all about saving money. All right. So next we have up is cut, the cut grade. So when we're talking about cut grade, we're not talking about, for this purpose, we're not talking about the shape. Shape is totally different. When GIA assigns a cut grade to a stone, they do it for round brilliance in the D to Z normal color range. So again, they won't give it for, if it's a fancy orange or, a fancy orange that's a heart shape. You're not going to get that cut grade right on the report. So again, this has a scale, just like every part of the grading has a scale. This starts, at the very high, it's an excellent cut, and then you get very good, good, fair, and poor. That would be sad. So when you hear, maybe you've heard triple X. I want triple X. Triple X is a thing for a reason. It's great. However, when you're looking at the anatomy of the diamond, when you're looking at, the way it's cut, we're looking at the proportions and the symmetry and the way the diamond was polished to get that cut grade. One thing that I have had the opportunity to do a couple times when couples come in and they're looking at diamonds is, maybe this diamond that I'm showing you is a very good cut grade. But the way it's cut, when you're cutting it and polishing it, the way it's cut, it faces up bigger. So the proportions on paper might be a little off, But when you're looking down at it, it looks huge. It can look like a 1 1/4 when it really maybe only weighs 1.10 carats, which is the next section. But so you want to, again, be mindful, do some research on what cut grades really are. Look up what proportions are good and the symmetry and the polish, if you want to know, because those all have an effect on how the light interacts within the diamond to optimize the scintillation and the fire. Like, when you're looking at a diamond in the sunlight, the natural light is perfect for diamonds, by the way. Perfect. You cannot have a single in-store light that's going to be matching what sunlight will do.
Justice.
But if you're turning a diamond or you walk by someone and it sparkles right in your eye and you see colors and, the rainbows, all of that is optimized in the way that it's cut. And then that's how you get the cut grade, is by paying attention to those measurements and those proportions. Again, another thing that we can do, though, is look at those, keeping in mind what your personal sweet spot is, the one thing that you want the best. If you want a very, very clean diamond, if you want a VVS quality, clarity diamond, maybe we can go a little lower in the cut grade, because the other thing is when you're wearing it, you're not wearing, this is something that I love reminding people, you're not wearing the cert on your hand, you're not wearing the grading report around and showing that to people when you get engaged. You're showing your ring, you're showing the size, you're showing how beautiful it looks on your hand. That's what people are going to look at. So they're not going to look at the side of it and measure it. So sometimes you can go a little lower with that, and, it's going to save you money. Put your money in other spots. Put your money in the size. Put your money in the color or the clarity. One side note is we have hundreds of loose diamonds. Hundreds. Some with grades, some without. Most with grades, some without. And we're always more than happy to show you comparisons of ones that have a GIA grading report and ones that don't, so that you can see when we're telling you, it's going to be in GSI1, even though it's not graded, we can compare it so that you know that you're really getting what we're saying we're offering.
And even the comparison between other certificates that are done with, not through GIA, but others, then we can compare GIA with other certificates that are done, which is interesting too.
So the last section here,
the best part, how big they are,
is the carat weight. So carat weight, it's the size, how big it is, but it's how heavy it is. So it's the actual unit of measurement. You put a diamond on a scale and you measure it. You see how much it weighs: 2 carats, 3 carats, half a carat. That's what CARAT. Different from gold carat, which is KARAT.
Very good.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's important to know. It's important to know. So it's an actual unit of measurement. It's actually how heavy the diamond is. This is one instance where cut and carat can be used hand in hand. So depending on the cut, if it's cut very poorly, a lot of times the weight, how much it weighs, can be in the underneath part of the diamond, which is not what you see when you're wearing it. If it's set in an earring, or if it's set in a necklace pendant or an engagement ring, you're not seeing the underneath side of the diamond. So that's kind of when you want to pay attention to, when it's cut, where are the proportions? How are those allotted, the proportions of the diamond? Something that, to us, when you're in the trade for so long, you think, oh, it's 75 points. Oh, it's 80 points, 63 points. Well, you say that to a customer and you look like you don't know what you're talking about. So the points thing, 1 carat is 100 points, pretty much the same as pennies to the dollar. You get 99 cents, $0.99, right? Pretty simple. So if you have a 3/4 carat diamond, 0.75 carats, you might hear jewelers referring to it as 75 points. If you have, a 123, 1 carat and 23 points, almost 1.25 carats. It's 123 points. Just sometimes little good pieces to know.
The jargon.
Yeah. The
Jewelers
carat
jargon.
The carat weight is pretty much, it's pretty straightforward. It's just, make sure your scales are calibrated correctly. Again, when GIA does their grading, that is absolutely the case. Like I said, they have 3 different people grading it. I had a customer last week, actually, who size was really important to him. Size was the biggest thing that he wanted a beautiful diamond, but he wanted it to be big. So we were able to go, be a little more lenient and a little more generous in the clarity areas, and then the color still was really good. I think it was a G color, so it's gorgeous, a gorgeous diamond. Very sparkly, very bright. Originally, we were looking at 1 carats, and then, once we were figured out that the size, the carat weight was the biggest thing, that was his goal, his sweet spot, so to say. Once we were able to figure that out, then we could show more that had a little, go in different areas with the color and the clarity. And he was actually able to get a 1.25 when originally we were looking at 1 carats. Yeah, and it was right in his price point, so we were able to.
It turned out beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful. Very sparkly.
I love it. So that's the basic rundown on the 4 C's.
Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to comment on the video. Even after we close the video, still comment. We're always looking. Or call us if you have any questions too. Mm-hmm. Feel free to chat with us. We're here. Mm-hmm. We're here. We're waiting.
We're here. If you do want to text us or give us a call to the store, you can text our store. 617-816-5710.
Yeah, you can send pictures, anything. Goes right to the cell phone.
Yep. Or just want to say hi.
Yeah.
If you have purchased from us in the past or in the process of doing so, keep in mind that right now, especially, reviews are super, super important. Especially now where people aren't actually able to come to you or go shopping or go places to kind of scope it out. Reviews are really, really important, and we love reading the reviews that we do get, and I just hope that, we can get tons more. So if you have, like I said, if you've purchased from us in the past or in the process of doing so, think about leaving us a review. If you haven't, please, we would absolutely love it. We'd love to hear what your experience was and how.
Drop a line.
Yeah.
Say what's up.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I think that was, pretty much it.
Yeah, just a quick little snippet. We want to just come on here more frequently so you guys get more familiar with our faces. So we'll be doing more of these. We want to do what, about 2 a week?
Roughly 2 a week.
2 a week. Tuesdays.
We'll do one that showcases all of our pieces.
Next week, Tuesday, we have our tennis. It's Tennis Tuesday.
Woo!
So we're going to showcase all of our tennis pieces.
We have some tennis earrings.
Some tennis necklaces.
We have a tennis necklace. And of course our tennis bracelets. Which,
oh yeah,
you can't go wrong. Yeah, we're here. We're here to talk about things. We love educating. We love walking through things with you. And again, if you don't buy your diamond from us, we'd still be more than happy to at least show you some of our options and help you find the best one for you.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thanks, guys,
Thank
for joining us.
See you on Tuesday.
Tennis Tuesday.
Yes.